there. Thank you so much for joining us today. As you can see, I am with a wonderful group of friends. We have with us Loy Williams, Karen Downy, Linda Baker, and Dr. Kristine Pass. I'm Reverend Linda, and I've got the topic today. But before we get to that, let's just take a moment and open in prayer. I invite you to let go of anything that doesn't belong to you right here and right now. If you're comfortable, close your eyes and take a breath with us. Knowing that as we turn within, we are united with the divine. God, please bless us in all we do and say in this video, in this friendship, in this day. Guide our words and our thoughts. Provide for us the ideas necessary to bring us to our highest and best. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay, so today we are in one of my favorite Unity books. I'll try and show it to you. The 5 Principles. And I'm going to read to you a little bit from chapter 3, Co-Creating with God. Now the fun begins as we come to believe, to truly understand the first 2 principles, we begin to see that we are living in an ocean of love and abundance in which we cannot fail. We are ever connected to the source of all things. We are extensions of the ultimate creator, and we can tap into the power, wisdom, guidance of the divine at any time. What amazing power we have as human beings. No less than the abilities of the Christ reside in us. And what awesome responsibility. If we truly can do all the works that Jesus did, and more than these, as stated in John 14:12, we can change our lives and change our world. We are co-creators with God. Co-creation is another spiritual idea. Well, I'm not going to read that part because it kind of goes off in a different direction. But I did want to kind of tap into and remind us of what it is to be a co-creator with God. This concept in unity is both awesome and not so good. So often when we're going through challenges in unity, we don't feel like we can talk about it because we know we're co-creators. So we had a part in creating this. And the truth is sometimes it's the challenges that we face that give us the tools that we need to be able to see and understand the changes that we're striving for. So even though it feels real bad to be going through something we don't want to go through, if we can look at it as a learning opportunity, not as a failure on our part, or some bad thought that brought a bad problem, but an opportunity to learn a skill and move forward, I think even the worst things we walk through can turn out to be incredible blessings as we learn to navigate, to change, to share, and to serve. So that's my take on it. I'm going to let you hear from the rest of my amazing panel. Who would like to share first?
I'll give it a shot if that's all right.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Um, there is one thing that you said towards the end of what you were talking about, and once again, I'll paraphrase because memory doesn't always serve me correctly. But you said that the blessings can come with everything, uh, even the bad stuff. Did I get that right? Very good, very good. So, I that brought me up to something that I have believed for the past, I'd say probably the past 25 years. If I had a time machine and was able to go back to correct all the mistakes that I've made in my past that led me up to where I am right now, I probably would not do it because even though life is not the greatest right now, I'm still happy with where I am. I've been clean for the longer than I've been clean for longer than I've been using, and that to me is amazing. So, so there's that. And also, if it wasn't for the mistakes that I've made in the past, I wouldn't be able to process them right now, which is what I'm doing right now. And there's a lot of shame in my past, and I've just been going over, doing some 12-step work with it, with that shame. And that shame no longer, while it feels very bad, make no mistake, it does not feel as bad as it would be if I were to wallow in it. All right. And that wallowing is what it was the biggest mistake of my whole life. So I've been looking at in my mind at the stuff that I've screwed up, the harms that I've caused, the fear that I have, and I got a lot of fear. I grew up afraid of everything. Um, the the shame that I felt and the anger and the resentment that I feel sometimes towards the people that in my past. Um, I'm able to now sort of uh, sit with it and process it. And because I'm able to process it, I feel great. So now tell me where the logic is in that. Anyhow, that was me, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you very much, Reverend Linda, for this topic. I love it. It is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Loy. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have anything to say about co-creating?
So I was hoping to get to go in the middle because I'm going to come in with a contrary view. You mentioned how it can be problematic because of us having to look at our part in the creation. That part is not for me the problematic part. Where it is problematic is that this is saying we are co-creators is very dualistic language. So we've got this first principle in unity that tells us there is one power and one presence, and it's God, the good, omnipotent, yet we're co-creators. And so this is just one of those concepts that really bugs me, kind of gets under my skin, and I don't have a place where I'm settled with it, except that I just kind of toss it out and I say it doesn't work for me. So that's my take, and that's why I wanted to go in the middle so somebody else can come back with something positive.
And I don't think that's negative, Dr. Christine, and I appreciate your talking about it and sharing it. It does sound very dualistic. I think we talk about co-creating to remind us that we are spiritual beings having a human experience instead of human beings having a spiritual experience. We get into our physical world, our humanness, and we forget God. We forget that power. We forget that we can open to that and draw from the divine and come from that place. Yes, we are spiritual beings, and yes, we have the ability and the power to shut off any connection with spirit and just become individualistic. They call it in unity sense consciousness, that I'm all about what I can touch, taste, and feel, and I'm ignoring or denying my spiritual side. So when we're in oneness, of course, we're creators, but we call it co-creating because this is where we decide I'm going to do it from spirit within me, not just physical. So you're right. It's creation. We are always connected, whether we know it or not. But when we openly say, I am using my divine powers. I am using my divine gifts. I am open to divine wisdom. That's where they call it co-creating. And it's a language problem. And I think having discussions about it is important. So if ever you're confused or unsure, I think it's important to talk about that and bring it out. I can be simply physical and be in complete denial. I don't believe there's God. I'm not listening to any small voice. I have to have all the money in the whole world, mine, mine, mine. I don't care. And I'm out of alignment with my true self. And that's where the duality really is. When I step into co-creating, you're right, I'm in oneness. So now it should be one creating, oneness creating, creating from the divine, which is more appropriate language. Language doesn't always catch up to where we are, but I think those are wonderful points. When I'm co-creating, that's me consciously bringing forth the divine. That's how I interpret it. And you're right, there's probably way better ways of saying it, but I grew up a long time ago, and that language still kind of fits with my awareness. Other comments?
Sure, I would love to comment. Thank you for that topic. It can lead in a lot of different directions. The first thing that I thought of was, since I'm older now, I can look back at all of the pieces and see how things evolved. And the first word that I wrote down was unavailability. Now, back then, I didn't know it was an unavailable mother and father. I just didn't like them. They didn't like me, you know? So there was always a war. Now I can see that how that pattern, though, set me up for picking unavailable relationships that reenacted the same feeling of betrayal, not being there, all of the things that happened. That. Then the other thought that came was depression. And I've suffered from a chemical imbalance, now I know, my entire life. But when I was hauled to doctors and hospitals as a teen, and I went back and got records when I was doing some 12-step recovery work, there were so many things that were redacted, which I found very interesting. And the core problem wasn't ever addressed. So then the third thing that hit for me was sick as the secrets we keep. And that's another one of those little slogans I got early on in 12-step recovery groups. And it's like, you know, it's like the sick things, the dysfunctional things, the fearful things, the bad things. We want to keep them secret. And that just keeps me sick. So the more I can talk about the dysfunctional things, the dis-ease over the years, the co-creation with God comes in asking, which direction do I go now? The feeling of knowing that it's God, the universe, the divine, that spark that I can see, oh my God, I fell into that unavailability track again. Oh, I didn't listen to the red flag over here because I was creating for myself. Which, God, help me do this, or God, help me do that. Well, God helped me, and it might not have been the right thing. But it was all a learning experience. And it's like, I mean, I think that it is so valuable, especially now, to talk about those hidden things, because I think there's a lot of people out there with a lot of hidden things. We're humans. We are on Earth School planet learning. And we don't learn unless information comes in, and we can't see what we don't see unless it's put out there for us. So I really liked that topic. Another opportunity to reflect that there was a lot of things that happened and situations, but they were all lessons or learning experiences. And the bottom line is everything is just the way it was supposed to be. So thank you for that topic.
You're welcome. Thank you, Karen. Linda?
Well, when you first started talking about this, I kept thinking to myself, okay, all it takes is, like one big hurt. And then after some time, you learn a lesson from it. Okay, so I'm ready to kick back in the hammock then and just relax and let life go on. But then the challenges keep on coming, more hurts. And I'm kind of like Karen in this sense, what she's talking about. And then you mentioned the duality, and that discussion came up. And then while you were talking about it, I realized, all right, when I have a challenge and I accept it, and by accepting it, I feel like I'm a co-worker with that, and I've accomplished something. So then here comes the ego into the picture, right? Which is the reason why the challenges keep coming back, apparently. That's what I'm getting from y'all. That's my take. It's more than one big hurt. They just keep coming until you can become the coworker and keep the ego out of it. And it's God's will to be done, not my will. That's a tough lesson. It's hard.
Well, and I like the affirmation, God's will is my will, or God's will be my will, that they don't have to be separate. And thank you all for your comments. I didn't mean to suggest that the only way we learn is by challenges or hurts. What I was talking about is when we start to take ownership of our life and the situations that we're in, and realize how powerful we are as creators, as we co-create. When we see a challenge or a problem, we can feel like we did something wrong. I made this mess, when in reality, this mess, whatever it is, may have been attracted into our lives as an opportunity for us to walk through and grow through it. I think if I'm holding on to fears, insecurities, or things that do not serve my highest and best, or bringing me closer to my divine source, I think that's when different challenges can be drawn into my life to remind me to create with God and from God, to live from life, from love, from wisdom, instead of seek love and life and wisdom. If I live from it instead of look for it, it kind of changes the way that I perceive and experience life. Any other comments? Okay, as always, thank you all so much for your different perspectives and views and experiences. I always learn so much from all of you. And we learn from you too, our viewing audience. We appreciate any comments, any thoughts that you have. All comments are read and replied to. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to be a part of this panel and let your perspective be a part of what we present, we welcome you. Get a hold of the church. The information on how to do that is at the end of this video. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Good to see you. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.